DJ Shadows, Our Pathetic Age, 26 long, an hour and 31 minutes. Fucking A, man.
Damn it, boy.
Damn it, boy. This is where I hate double albums because it is a double album. And it's bad for fans. And this is where it is literally bad for fans because it is two completely separate fucking works.
Yeah.
Completely different. The first one is very experimental, electronic, weird. I like it. Other one is hip hop, super hip hop, De La Soul, Nas, Ghostface Killah, what the hell? Run the Jewels,
Fantastic Negrito,
Pusha T. It goes
Dave
on.
East.
This is, as a reviewer, a fucking nightmare because we have to review 2 albums in one. So let's go.
In addition to reviewing Lady Antebellum, which was its own special sort of interesting problem, and then Little Peep's album, which was pretty long as well.
Then we have a goddamn double album. Don't make double albums, artists. It's bad for fans. It's bad for you. It's bad for us. And mainly, it's bad for us.
Yeah, so mostly it's bad for us. So before we talk about the content of the album really fast, we've seen in 2019 a year of a couple different approaches to double albums.
Correct.
We kind of have the memory scarred in our lives of 2017 of Trap, where we had
3-hour-long albums of I Want to Actually Murder Myself.
We had triple albums when we were talking about Ray Shremmerd's album, Culture 2. We had all this. It was really
Drake
bad.
did one. It was just horrible.
And there have been albums this year that we just like, too long, I'm not going to do it. Sorry. Yeah. So like, there's that way of doing albums that we mostly don't like. There's the Foles way of doing albums where you
just do one in the beginning of the year,
yeah.
And at the end of the year, and I really, really like that. Then there's like Anderson .Paak way, which is you have 2 years separating them, or a year separating them.
It's not really a year separating them. It's like a couple, 5 or 6 months separating them. You'd say it's like the Foles way, Anderson .Paak / Foles way.
The 1975, which is a whole year.
But here's the thing. The 1975 I'm not going to comment on too much because as of this time of recording this review, I don't know how Notes in a Conditional Form sounds like. It was supposed to be the last half of like the other album, but so far a lot of it sounds pretty different.
Yeah, exactly.
Foles, the difference between part 1 and part 2, the difference are subtle, but it
definitely works.
Anderson .Paak, the differences are a little bit more pronounced, but you can definitely tell it's Anderson .Paak.
You can tell this is same recording style. Yeah.
This is like
eating a banana to getting run over as a squirrel. Like these are told 2 different things. Like, most a random thing I can think of.
No, this is like back when we had class warrior Joe Rogan who was saying it's complete. No, back when it's like completely impossible. like that clip where Joe Rogan's like, it's completely ridiculous that we have women who are like carrying babies on the border and we don't let them in because we draw lines in the sand. It's ridiculous. When we had like ANCAP Joe Rogan all the way to like classical liberal Joe Rogan. It's like 2 completely separate things.
No, it's Pete Buttigieg saying, hey, I think Medicare for all is a good idea. And then circumvent a few months later, no government provider should tell you can get rid of your private insurance. That's what this is.
I'm just glad Pete Buttigieg just has a policy he can name instead of like a platitude he's talking about. He's like Obama without the spunk.
Never mind.
So anyways, like, the DJ Shadow, this is a really like career spanning project because there's a lot of stuff that sounds like his older stuff, like from Introducing, which is like goes back a while and was really good. And you have some really interesting songs here that are experimental, like Intersectionality does a lot.
Dude, Rosie is wild.
Rosie
is an amazing track in its own because there's one point where it's the sound that sounds like there's really strobe lights in your ears, and I had to take off my headphones for a little bit. I'm like, this kind of hurts. But then the second half of Rosie, it goes into this really funky bass line with drums over it, and I'm like, ooh, I can groove to this
like,
right now.
It's jazzy, it's electronic.
It's good.
Juggernaut's a little too wild for me.
Oh, no. The wildest one is Beauty, Power, Motion, Life, Work, Chaos, Law. Tika Taylor Soldier.
See the Rich Man, Poor Man, Beggar Man, Thief.
Yeah, it's that. The track 4 is just literally sounds. It's like, I'm bored. I want to do different things. I'm like, dude.
And then that leads into Juggernaut, and then Firestorm is almost like a latter part of it. That's like the remains, like the nuclear fallout of it.
Yeah, because that one has that little piano on it. But I'm like, those 2 songs, I'm like, dude, I can't. This is way too much sound.
Yeah.
I'm always for experimentation, but there's a time where I'm like, okay, you need to chill. But then it goes to Weightless, Rosie, If I Died Today. Good tracks.
Yeah.
It's very experimental, different, which I'm always on board for. And then disc 2.
Disc 2, Fight.
Disc 2, Drone Warfare. Feet Nas and Pharaoh Monk. I'm like, this is a very different thing. I'm all for it because you know me and drones.
Yeah.
I always yell about them.
Then we go hard in the paint, son.
And then, first off, my favorite song on the whole thing is Rocket Fuel with De La Soul. That's going on my workout list, and I'm playing that song at work.
That song is okay, but God, De La Soul is so Uncle Rappy.
It's hilarious, but this is like, it just sounds like it's straight from like 1992.
Yeah, it does.
It's so funny.
So like, I have basically, the trend with all of these albums that we reviewed today is that I like the latter half of it, but the problem is Our Pathetic Age has 2 latter halves. So I like the latter half of the jazz part.
Yes,
so like, 1. From We're Always Alone was a nice like sort of outro, up to maybe Rosie is really good.
Exactly.
And then like Intersectionality is pretty great. Sling Braids, whatever, but like Intersectionality from the top is really good.
Yes.
And then the second part, I'm kind of fine with all those ones you had right there that you said.
For Rain on Snow.
They come in pretty hard in the paint.
Yeah.
But right when we get to Small Colleges and JoJo's World.
JoJo's World isn't a good track.
JoJo's World's a very good track.
Really?
Yeah, fuck off. JoJo's World's an incredible track.
I think it was kind of whatever.
The lyrics, it's like
honestly, because of how long it was, I literally am like, I can't. This is too much sound.
No, JoJo's World.
I'll have to listen to it.
The lyrics are really deep and intense.
I think because my problem is King of Queens was right after that.
Yeah, and like,
I really like King of Queens.
It kind of represents a whole turn in the album where it gets like
definitely
the turn thematically goes from, because DJ Shadow, in addition to his like past, he's just like the soundtrack for all of the really like cool TV shows and movies now. So a lot of these rap songs are going to be like the soundtrack for like fucking Logan Roy's torture playlist. But like, it's all going to be, some of these songs deal with a lot of deepness and emotional loss and sorrow, especially from a masculine point of view, which is interesting. But it goes really deep in that, and it's been a really good theme of 2019 where musicians have done this sort of thing. And it starts from Small Colleges down through JoJo's World, Kings and Queens, which is like, I can't wait for 2020. We're going to probably get Run the Jewels 4.
Dude, that song goes so fucking hard.
Yeah.
I love that track. I can't wait for new Run the Jewels.
2020 is going to be a banger.
I'm telling you, every even year of music is ridiculous.
It's funny because every odd episode of Audio Face is better than the even ones.
No, you can go fucking. You can fuck off for all I care. You can fuck off for all I care. Anyways, this is okay. Please, for a double album, it's good, but goddamn, my brain hurts.
Can I say urgent, important? Please read. I had to Google all the artists that work on here. I'd never heard of Tafe Poe, Damon, or Rockwell Knuckles before.
Yeah, I don't know any of those.
Fuck of a track. That's
I have no idea who the hell. Yeah, I don't know any of those guys were.
Like it's like one of those education kind of mathematics kind of songs. It's really good.
It's a simple mathematics. Yeah. It's a lot.
If I could summarize it like this. Sometimes this album is kind of annoying, but it's never boring.
No,
it's just a jumbled up like
it's this
weird potpourri of songs.
Too many ideas.
Yeah,
as one of our favorite people says, it is too many ideas to where it just cut a few and it'll be good. So
yeah. And so, by the way, Our Pathetic Age is a really interesting way to end the album. That's really funny. The bonus track with Pusha T is fine, but Jesus Christ, I don't know where you would put in the album because it doesn't make sense. 2 Notes is also very good, but you don't need Taxon. It's just a longer version of the bonus track. It's fine. Arbitrary Scale, you know I'm going in for it. It's Malice in the Palace, baby. This is one of the most legendary fights. We talked about this, and this is why we kind of disputed, because we've done this on Audioface before, but whatever album we talked about this being Malice in the Palace of, this is at least as good with, but it's also just like way too much sauce, because Ron Artest, even today...
Ron, baby.
I've met and have pictures with Meta World Peace if you look at my Instagram at Dan from the Internet. But I can attest, he can attest that he went really hard when he was on the Indiana Pacers and he jumped into the stands. He started smacking a guy who threw like a Coca-Cola on him. 9 players were suspended.
11. Was it like 11 mil or something?
Listen, 11 million salaries lost, no players. But listen for the time. 9 players were suspended for a total of 146 games. That's total of 2 NBA seasons.
Oh my God!
5 players were charged with assault. And several fans were banned from Pistons home games for life. Yeah. They're still not going to Pistons home games for that shit. This is also number one. What's yours?
This right here, baby. Just look on the screen. Goalies fighting, motherfucker. I remember watching this shit.
This is Rick DiPietro, Brent Johnson.
Yeah, this is New York Islanders versus Pittsburgh Penguins 2004, I believe. And it is
17 minutes.
Oh my God. It is just 17 minutes of fighting. Just
full frontal nudity.
An entire period worth of just straight up fighting. It was... Actually, no, this was not 04. This was 07. 15 fighting majors, 21 game misconducts, 346 minutes of penalty time. 65 penalties were given. And that's when, so Rick DiPietro was a goalie for the New York Islanders. And this was literally like, after this game, his career just downfalled, and now he's retired, and his contract was so bad that he's getting paid $1 million a year to sit on his couch and do nothing. That's how legendary a fight this one was.
He pulled a WeWork.
He pulled a straight up WeWork. Yep. That's how legendary that was.
Damn it, boy.
Damn it, boy.
That's amazing.